Yep, we're good.
Should be all set.
Okay, let's call the meeting to order. Just let the record show that we are recording the meeting and it will be posted to the city's website on the YouTube. So first item on the agenda is approval of the minutes from the last meeting from December 19th, 2022. Do you have any changes?
None from me.
You have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second,
Second,
all in favor, say aye.
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 aye,
Anybody opposed? Okay, any old business? All right, under new business, election of officers. Does anyone want to be the chairman of the golf commission?
nominate Jeff Gallant.
I
Second.
second.
Okay.
Good speed.
Financial assistant?
I'll continue in that role.
Okay. We have a second,
Second.
and then the secretary. Any nominations for secretary?
Who is now, Dern?
It's either Dern or Mike.
It's Mike right now.
It probably is.
I nominate Mike Budwick.
Second.
Second.
Okay. So now we'll approve all the election of the officers. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. Anybody approve?
Aye,
I
Anybody oppose?
No.
Okay. Dan, your update.
Okay, I sent over a brief email to kind of what I want to go over. I went through and awarded all the tournament dates based on people's selections. Was there any questions on what people were given, or the big thing that needs to be discussed is that the police want to hold a 1 p.m. Saturday, September 9th shotgun. That event is normally full, around 140 or 144 players. My thoughts are it's hard to deny them that request when we allow the Acadian Club to do so. But also, Darren and I were talking a little bit. It's like, I think we definitely have to put a minimum on these events, whether it's 120, 128, 132, so that those events come in and we have a guarantee on money coming in if we're going to shut down the course. And another thing Darren mentioned, maybe we cap it at so many events a year, whether it's 2, 3, 4, so that the members know that they're not going to start losing this golf course 15 times a year.
Dan had a question.
Yep.
Hasn't it always been like on a Friday? What is their reasoning for?
I really
Moving
didn't
it.
talk to, I really didn't talk to Ryan Coates much about why they wanted the request. I told Darren, whatever we needs to be done in the golf shop, we can do. So, whether we're running tee sheet or shotgun that day, it doesn't really matter. I don't know the exact reason why.
Right, yeah.
I knew this would come up at some point when we granted the Acadian Club there, so.
Yep.
Before things get out of hand, if we're gonna do that one, I think we ought to cap that at no more than 2 events a year.
I agree, because where's it gonna go? League.
We're
you
gonna
know,
take
the
untold
next-
amounts of crap from the membership if we start doing 3 and 4 and 5 of these a year.
Oh, yeah. I think we should probably, cap it at the two events at this point.
Just get, I probably give those 2, if we cap it at 2, give those 2 the first choice of being our 2 shotguns. And if let's say police decide to go back to Friday, that would open up 1 spot
Right.
for a large event.
Are we gonna also increase the rate for them not give them the same rate on Saturday that they got on Friday?
I think
I
what
think they ought to pay a premium if they're gonna play a shotgun on a weekend.
Yeah, the tournament thing right now is $64 per person is the charity tournament.
How much more is a weekday greens fee than a regular greens fee? Or sorry, regular, a weekend greens fee, that is?
The a weekend greens fee is 42,
And a weekday is,
37. So it's 37 for weekday greens fees and 37 for a charity tournament. The cart is a little bit more expensive for the charity tournament, obviously, because we bring carts in for these big ones. But the weekend greens fee is the $42. So, we set a minimum, say 120, and whether we stay at the weekday rate because of the charity tournament or go up to the weekend rate, doesn't matter to me.
they're playing on the weekend, so.
Absolutely. They should at least pay a weekend greens fee if they're gonna play on a weekend.
I think it's the weekend rate, and I mean, I obviously think I don't know, 120s where everyone wants to sit, or if we want to go more that we're guaranteed. And if they come in with less, they're paying
120.
Yeah, they pay 120.
paying 120, or are they paying 128? Or how much are we
Yeah, I was
pushing?
gonna say, what's the number?
Well, 120 is 30 groups. 36 is a double. 36 is a double. So
You figure it at 120, you still gotta bring carts in for that size group, right?
I mean, is this just them wanting a Saturday? I mean, they fill the Fridays pretty good.
I don't know. Like I said, I didn't ask
And
them.
I mean, they have no shortage of players.
Right, it's gonna fill. It's gonna be 144.
Oh, yeah.
They always probably turn people away that are late. So
I would like to know what the reasoning is, I mean, they always had the Friday and now all of a sudden they want Saturday because of.
Monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah.
That I would say.
That's what I'm worried about right there. That's why I think we gotta cap it at 2 right now if we're gonna let that one go. I don't think any more should go.
I think we should talk to them and make sure that it's, why not do the Friday?
I would ask them and also advise them the increase in the fee.
oh yeah, I'll go to both of them and tell them, say, hey, we're gonna charge you the weekend rate this year, and let them know. Maybe that pushes the police back to Friday if they want to pay the extra.
When
Yeah,
is the event planned for?
They wanted Saturday, September 9th.
September 9th?
It's one day later than they normally go. They usually go that Friday.
Okay.
They're always the week of Labor Day, right?
Yeah, so I mean, personally to me, doesn't matter to me why they want Friday versus Saturday or vice versa. I mean, I can ask, it's not a problem.
It would be nice to know, just, are they trying to piggyback on what the Acadian Club does, or are they got a real reason for wanting to go to Saturday versus Friday? I mean, if they're trying to piggyback on what the Acadian Club does, then others are gonna start doing that if we don't deal with this now.
Did we ask the Acadian Club why they wanted it?
I don't believe so.
Well, they took the tournament elsewhere, because Templewood gave them Saturday, as I recall.
You're right.
And then in order to get them back is how I believe it happened.
Yeah, the request was made to come back here, but they needed a Saturday, so we kind of
Saturday with a shotgun.
agreed to that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the increased price will have the police tournament go back and stay on that Friday, because they're gonna have to increase the price to people, and they might not want to do that.
Yeah, I'll ask Ryan. See what he says. I'll tell him everything. Say, give him the rates, the minimums. See, like I said, I'll fire you guys back an email on why they wanted to move and do that.
So would that make it $69 a head?
Yes.
Okay,
So, all right, I'll check on that. Sorry. Forgot I was up. The other stuff, the block tee times for groups during the week, works out great on our end. The Monday group did make a request to me to move to Wednesday so they could actually play more weeks during the season and not lose some of their Mondays to the holidays. And then Todd started talking about, he had a Wednesday league last year and he made his own tee times, but he is talking about wanting to grab some tee times on a regular basis. Obviously, we don't, being busy is great, but we don't want to start blocking everybody else out from getting tee times. But if we charge them a little bit of a premium for the convenience, we might make a couple grand out of it, and they'll be on their way. And they would have to be, the leagues would have to determine how they want to pass that along. They'll probably just up their league fee. If we get $10 a head, they're gonna have to bump it up $10 a head. But my thought is to do that to every group, even the PACC on Thursdays, the smaller groups, the doctors, everybody else, just to keep everybody on the same plane. And, everybody has their tee times blocked. We charge the weekend tournaments, like the Nap Club South Gardner, they all pay a $5 per head fee for a weekend tournament. So kind of lines up with that thought process of, you have your reserve tee times for your events, then it's going to cost a little bit more.
And that's just a one-time fee, Dan?
Yeah, it wouldn't be a weekly fee. No, I
Okay.
mean, if we have a league of 40, if the Acadian Club has 48 players, so all right, you're going to owe us $48. No, I'm sorry, $480 for the season. They'll have to bump their fee up $10 for the members. Either that, or we just kind of ease into it with $5 and get a couple dollars and start that thought process of,
Okay.
so it doesn't matter to me. It's
Well, I would have a problem with the Women's Association. I mean, we've had that, that tea time since inception, really.
I can certainly get behind an argument because it's a kind of like a Gardner associated group to waive on that one. But
I can say the leagues, but these like one-offs when you have like the doctors group.
yeah, like I said, we
Gonna
can do
charge
whatever.
Dr. Faust now to.
Right.
pay.
Yeah, we could do whatever. I definitely think the weekday leagues that play in the afternoon, when that is our prime time, I think that's an easy one. And then I can give up the other stuff. That's fine with me. Those are the smaller ones anyways.
Right.
We'll make most of the money out of the leagues, Acadian Club, the Wednesday league, and if Todd has a league going.
Right. I mean, yeah, I agree. Leagues, these one-offs, couple of tea times. I think that's.
Is that something we want to entertain?
for the leagues only.
Yeah, either way. I mean, is there, argument one, two of, 4 against everybody or 4 against nobody?
I'm kind of leaning with Ann when it comes to the morning group tea times. I mean, yeah, we really going to charge Dr. Faust and his
Right.
whole group $5 extra?
Right.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No,
The
that's not-
afternoon leagues that want the primary afternoon league tea times blocked, I can support that one.
What about the PACC league is a Thursday morning league? Are we just doing it for the afternoon tea times and then they would be exempt because they're a morning tea time?
Right, are we gonna go with leagues or are we gonna go with
No,
Timing.
afternoon only?
I could go with leagues.
Yeah, formal league
Formal
play.
leagues, yeah.
You know, where they put out a schedule, you know, play certain people every week and go. I know that, like George Geekas's group doesn't do that.
Right,
The doctors don't do that. The ladies
Right.
they don't do that. They're not competing, you know, for in a league structure. Where everybody else is. Now, do
I would agree just to go with the leagues, but I would only charge $5.
do 5
person.
just to start it slow.
Yep.
And that's not, you know, and that way, no one's gonna walk away for $5.
No.
No.
that's $5 a head for the year, right?
Yeah, oh, yeah,
Correct.
yeah, not per day.
No,
Yeah, so I mean, if we have a league of 40, you make a couple $100 on it.
Yeah.
You know, and then they're set for the year, and, you know, it takes me a couple minutes to figure it out, but it's not bad.
okay,
All right, so $5 for the leagues only. The last thing I had on there was our point of sale system in here. Our old, like I mentioned before, our old one's not being supported as of June 30th on. So I sat down with 6 or 7 different demos. I would like to stay with a Golf Now product for a multitude of reasons. The biggest one is that there shouldn't be any change to what our golfers and members see on their side regarding the website, the functionality of the tee sheet, stuff like that. All the change at that point would be inside the golf shop, what we use at the golf, you know, at the counter. Obviously, the guts will be the same, but it's just going to be it'll be a learning curve for us. I'd rather teach 10 of us how to do something than try to reteach 1,000 of us how to do something, because it took a while to get that tee sheet in order, get everybody kind of trained on it.
Will the tee times work like properly now with your logins? Is that going to be?
I'll have to check and see if the database is going to transfer right over because it's Golf Now to Golf Now. I'll have to see if everybody will need to go in and just double check, you know, from what Jesse told me, it should, you know, your password, username and password should stay the same. You know,
Sure, but I mean, obviously we had to, you know, enter the code, the members code to go to the members tee times, like all that.
Yeah, that option will still be there where we can give them.
So we're not,
because
the theory is that we should be able to check off people as members and they just log in and they get to see the members tee times, but it doesn't work that way.
correct. Yeah, because we had to give the password for that.
Yeah,
sheet.
so I didn't know if.
Yeah,
by
I'll have to
changing
see which way we can do it. You know what I mean? Because
Obviously,
everybody's tagged in there as a member.
Yeah.
But the way the old system, we had to open up 2 different tee sheets is what we did with the password. I mean, worst case scenario, we'll have to do that again. Best case scenario, maybe it reads a lot better and we can just go off.
it knows to let, you know, if you're checked off as a member, you can
Yeah.
get those tee times. It'd be great if it did. Obviously, I mean, people have been able to handle it, but if one less step would be awesome.
The other thing that I was kind of concerned about when I talked to several of these people was, you know, several of them had the requirement that we had to do all of our credit card processing through them. I thought, and obviously it was not around in this capacity when we first started having Golf Now. I thought we always used the city and what the city uses for processing, but we actually have a third-party processor now. So the gentleman at Golf Now ran an audit on a bunch of our statements from last year, and we're paying over 4% per transaction on average, and we're probably going to save $5,000 to $6,000 a year on credit card processing fees by going, if we stay and go through Golf Now. Just the lower the rate and the lower the transaction per transaction cost is lower. So I mean, that's, and you know, it's still going to be a trade out system where we're going to trade out a couple tee times a day. But as we got busier, they lost a lot of their tee times. So that's my request to stay with Golf Now. And like I said in the email, it's going to take 30 to 45 days to get everything transferred over. Obviously, I've got to get my personal tax stuff done first, and we can flip it over. and get all the inventory over and make sure all the rates are correct and stuff like that. So it shouldn't be a
Dan,
problem. What's that, Mike?
I would just, from experience, when we've switched credit card processing companies, it's not always a smooth transition, and there
Okay.
can be some considerations there. You know, how quickly if there's a problem, what they're going to do. So I would just do some due diligence on making sure that the credit card processing isn't going to become an issue for you
Okay.
guys now as you're trying to ring people out and whatever else. I'm not saying it's them. There's a couple different main ones that do it. I don't know, you know, which one they're kind of using, but it
Yeah.
can be a nightmare from,
All right.
you know, it just can be.
Okay, yeah, that's good to know. You know, because obviously we're kind of in trouble if we don't have credit cards.
What's
Yeah.
the
And what's-
change order? Is it basically a software and a hardware upgrade?
Yeah, it'd be the same thing we do every couple of years. They will provide hardware. It would include an additional iPad with a swipe on it, so we could actually get a little mobile if we got brave enough to kind of walk around and be outside a little bit more. You can actually check people in outside. Yeah, I may look into using the system a little bit deeper as far as our golf carts as well. We've never recorded what golf carts people are taking. Over the last few years, you guys have obviously seen my emails with things being left in golf carts, you know, golf cart damage and stuff like that. Whereas I think if we had a system where we recorded golf cart numbers, I think those problems would pretty much just fade away if everybody knew that their name was attached to a specific golf cart. We are in our 5th year of our lease here. And we're gonna, you know, Jeff and I talked to Yamaha earlier this month. So we're gonna have to run these for year 5. I expect to have, you know, obviously year 5, we're gonna have more down than year 4 and year 3, but we'll get those fixed as fast as we can, and we should be good. They're good. They're still good cars, but they have a lot of mileage on them, especially through COVID. But yeah, that would be my request. You know, I'd have to get the mayor to sign off on a Golf Now contract, agreeing to the trade out, stuff like that, so we can get going. But Mike's been, the mayor's been pretty good about, you know, signing stuff that we need and get moving on it.
There would be a new, what you're saying, it'd be the iPad and then another new computer and.
Yes, yeah, it'd be a standalone, you know, computer with a server in it. This one is well, it may not be a server because it is cloud-based. The iPad, and my question to a lot of these guys is, all right, well, what happens when our internet connection goes down? And I talked to Jeff about this. That iPad can be hooked up to cellular, for lack of a, you know, not knowing, so that if we lose our internet connection, we could have an iPad that is fully functional to take payments, check-ins, stuff like that. And, you know, if we lose power, be the same system where we could, you know, do that and not lose beat. Not that we lose power very often, but we can fall back on the iPad to do all that stuff.
When do you think the conversion would be done? You said you had your
I
taxes.
would want it to be done as early as possible, because I want to get all my guys in here and myself
Right,
trained
then,
up on it before we open the doors.
then you
I
bring in.
Yeah,
the
I don't want,
staff to-
yeah, I would bring them in, you know, even if it's not everybody at the same time, a couple different shifts, get them in here, you know, after I have a full understanding of it, to train them again on it and get them, you know, the way this place works, we can't wait till May and June. We
Right.
would get absolutely toasted. So, but yeah, hopefully mid-March, you know, mid to late March, we're in here training and ready to go. We can kind of problem solve in those couple weeks and work out the bugs and make sure everything's functional.
I would hope it would be ready before that.
Yeah, like I said, if you guys are good with it, I'll make some calls tomorrow and get them moving and talk. to
Mr.
them.
Frank says he's gonna melt snow early and you guys will be able to open early.
It's gonna be -15 Friday night.
Minus
I know.
minus 25 with the wind chill.
So,
Great golfing weather.
Mm.
No, I just think if, you know, if we need to vote to approve this, then you should move forward as fast as possible, because.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I'd rather have everything standing and ready to go by the 1st of March than still be wrestling through things.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, if they can get done in 30 days, awesome. You know, if it trickles in, then we'll be good. But it's definitely, you know, they know the situation we're in as far as how busy we are and when we open, and so.
Are there any other questions regarding the Golf Now system for Dan?
We move forward with the Golf Now system Dan recommended.
Second,
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
aye,
Anybody opposed? All right, go ahead, Dan.
Okay, I think that's it for me.
Bill?
The golf course is a mess, as Dave, you might not have seen it, but anybody who drives by, all the pine trees, snap, snap, snap. It's basically a mini ice storm from 12 years ago, 13 years ago. Not nearly as bad because we didn't get the winds. You know, when the temperatures came up, you know, and the basically all the pine trees, none of the deciduous trees, but all the pine trees that were down, they slowly came back up as they melted instead of the wind just snapping them off. So it's a mess out there right now. But what's good is it's gonna get cold, and then that way we can get equipment out there and pick up the big stuff. And then when all the snow recedes, then we can go out with just people and rakes and blowers and get it tidied up. But it is a mess right now. Not a lot of real trees have fallen down. It's mostly just limbs snapped off. Like I said, reminiscent of 12, 13 years ago during the first ice storm. We've cleaned off greens 2 or 3 times this winter. Seems to be a common theme with the rain, the slush, the flash freeze. So I'm hoping right now that there really isn't any ice on the greens. And as we get closer to spring, you know, the fragility of ice on greens goes away. But for the most part, just we're going to clean the place up as best we can when the snow goes, fine tune it, get it dialed in, and be ready to go. So that's it.
Thank you, Bill. All right, under correspondence, under the code of conduct review, Ann did send me all the changes to the policies, and I will print those off and send those to everybody probably for the next meeting. Then there was a request by Steve Smith. I don't know if everybody had a chance to read it.
did you send it out? I didn't see it.
Should have been attached with everything. When Christine sent, when she sent everything, it should have been attached. I can read it anyways. As you can see by my signature, my name is Steve and I live in Leominster. I belonged to the Gardner Golf Course last year and had a senior membership. I noticed last year and again this year that veterans were kind of lumped in with the clergy and a restricted membership. I was wondering if the city would consider giving a little more recognition to the veterans and add a new veterans full membership rate. The new 2023 rates have basically all of the restricted memberships going up by 100 to 725, and the full member rates going up 125 to 1100. That difference of 375 between the individual veterans rate and the individual full membership rate. My proposal would be to split the 375 difference, which is 187.50, and have a veterans full individual membership rate at 912.50. The 725 can remain in place for restricted membership. Thank you for your consideration, Steve. So what are the feelings with the commissioners regarding this proposal?
So he's suggesting that we set a veterans rate in between the full rate and the
And the restricted, he
current
wants,
restricted rate.
Yeah, what he's basically requesting is having another full membership rate, but with a veteran discount. Of the
Haven't we
187.50. What's that?
Yeah, we've posted the rates for next year already. They've been in the newspaper and everything. Is that's
I-
already gone through?
Yes. I believe so.
So
Yeah,
would
I'm
this
pretty
be a
sure-
thing we'd
pretty
be
sure it
considering
has.
are we considering this for next year then? Or is that on the table
Yes.
for this year?
Yes.
So not for 2023, but for
Nope.
2024?
Right.
I mean, I think it's worth looking into for next year.
All right. So why don't we table it until we discuss the rates in September?
I'm okay with that.
I think that makes sense if we're not gonna, might as well address all the rates together, with this request.
Right.
I would, yep, I would agree.
So can we get some kind of correspondence sent out to him? Just
Yep.
letting him know that the rates are set for this year already. We're gonna go back and just let him know we didn't ignore him,
Correct. Yeah. I'll send a letter to him.
or have Christine or whatever. Yeah.
And then the second correspondence was from Holy Family Academy. They request the June 2nd, 2023 date for their annual golf tournament.
Yeah, that was one of the, we still know, that was one of the ones that I got in here as well, so. I already I just hadn't put it on the schedule yet. I gotta put it in there.
Okay. So at this point, that date is open?
Yep.
Okay. So I just seen a motion from someone to accept this date.
So moved.
Second,
Second,
All in favor, say aye.
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 I,
Anybody opposed? Okay. Next item is member comments. Are there anything? Dave, anything?
I can't see anything from afar down here.
Okay, it's good. Darren, anything?
Nothing for this meeting, no.
Ann, anything?
Well, I just wanted to clarify what I sent to you, Jeff, was just some updates on the policies, the
Okay,
commission policies. It wasn't the code of conduct one.
okay,
I'll have that to you the end of this week.
okay.
If I have that one, so we started working more
We had
closely on
split
it.
them up, so I just, we didn't get a chance to meet before I left, so.
Okay. And Mike, anything?
no, just thank you for making me secretary. It's great.
All right.
Congratulations.
I hope you're taking notes.
I'm gonna go to your LinkedIn and make sure it's updated.
All right, let's go over the financials. Go over receipts first. Through, I guess, January 9th, 2023, we have total receipts of $472,046, which it's a little different than what's being reported by the city. So I'm gonna have to find out why. The city has 561,000.
We'll
I don't
take
know what the,
I
don't know.
like their number.
I know, I don't know what the difference is, but I can find out. But as of right now, if it's the 561, we're at roughly about 66% of our budgeted receipts, so we're gonna need it because when I go over the expenses, I'll show you a couple of things that we're gonna have to transfer money for. So any questions on the receipts? All right, expenses. We're at total expenses of 431,000, which is roughly 58% of our budget. As you can see, as of right now, the golf course supplies is at 78. We only budgeted 47, so we're already under by 31,000. And when the course opens, I'm sure Bill's going to have to order a lot more fertilizers and chemicals and that type of stuff. So most likely that number is going to go up. So we probably will have to transfer some of our reserve to cover those expenses. So, and I think as of everything else, I believe everything else is just fairly, ordinary expenses that I've seen and signed off on. So, any questions on the financials? Need a motion to accept them?
Make a motion to accept the financials.
Second,
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
aye,
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, the last item is the budget I had sent out to you guys yesterday. This is pretty much the budget that we discussed when we increased the rates. I think I had explained that the budget was going to increase by roughly 110,000 or something like that, I believe it was. That's pretty much what it's coming in at. So total budget's at 976,000, which is pretty much what the receipts to get to a break-even point. So I don't know if anyone has any questions on the budget.
I guess just with the electricity line, obviously that one's gonna increase. The cost for electricity
Yeah,
alone. I don't know if we need to address that or not here, or we address it later when we need to cover the difference.
I mean, we can change it now. What do you think it's going to be at? You think it's going to double or?
I mean, I don't know for sure, but I assume that roughly, I mean, it's an increase.
What about if we increase it by 10 grand? I can make that change.
Just, we know the expense is gonna be higher, so might as well plan for it.
Yeah, because we're under the city
City rate.
solar farm. So I know that has some effect on that too, so. But, we can take a look at, the latest electric bills and see how much they have increased. But I can increase it by 10,000 just to be safe with it. I'll make that change. Any other questions?
I know that expense number is just there to balance the
Yeah,
budget, if you will, but does that include our allocation from the city for health and pension?
oh yeah, that's that number is the $205,000 number.
Okay,
I mean, well, it's at 210. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, that's included in that $210,000 number, which has gone up by 5 grand pretty much each year.
okay.
Any other questions? Okay, just need a motion to accept the budget at 986.04.
Can I make that motion?
We have a second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye,
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Next meeting date, let's see. How about if we did it February 27th?
Sounds
Good.
okay to me.
Fine.
works.
Right, just need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you very much.
All right, see you guys.
Hey, guys.
Aye.
Everyone.